Good afternoon. This is Wolfgang 1305. But I'm just going to shorten it. Just call me just Wolfgang. So, there is an issue with a materialistic item in New York. There's been videos of countless videos of Sarah Combray, the lady that's being investigated in New York at her job. Sorry about that. My window's open and I'm getting some fresh air, and plus it's nice outside. But let's get back to the story. So in New York, there was these black teenagers that allegedly stolen Sarah Combray bike that she had rented from her job. Now, mind you, this she's still in uniform. I've seen the video. We're all seen the video. I'm sure all you guys are just sick and tired of watching the same video as I am. Now, wait for it. So this black YouTuber, I really like him. I gave him so much respect. His name is Black Conservative. Now, he posted this video of this black teenager, and he's called them thugs, and saying that these black teenagers, they stole this Sarah Combray's bike. Now, is that true? Wait for it again. So I was sitting there watching it and looking at the video, and I'm like, there's got to be more than a meaty eye with this story. So the more I kept watching different videos of the same one, of different YouTubers posting this video out there about Sarah Combray um, bike got stolen by these black teenagers, and she's sitting there yelling for help. Um, then in the video, because they posted it online, and she's sitting there crying, and after that, they're like, one white guy comes up and see what was going on. Then she gets away from the bike. Well, before that, she goes, "Oh, you hurt my fetus." I'm going to tell you something right now. I want you guys to wait for this whole conversation because I just got done watching another YouTuber bath mouthing these black um, teenage boys. It's just worse. And in my opinion, actually, no, I'm not going to give my opinion. Yeah, in fact, I will. My opinion is that to the black conservative, how dare you sit there calling them thugs, knowing that you didn't even actually get the real true story behind it. And in fact, even though she had her receipt, that's good and all, that's great. But there is also ways of getting how could have been prevented. So there's two different ways of getting this whole thing prevented. For one, before I tell you actually what I've seen, I'm going to tell you how it could have been very prevented. There, if you actually look at the security camera at her job at the hospital, she was not that far from her job. She was like from right, say that like from right here, well you can't see it, to the door, or like maybe to the living room. We'll say like that. You're not that far. If you wanted that bike, there was so many options out there. You could have went back to security and said, "Hey, they're stealing a bike that I had rented." Security guard would have came out. The second option would have been, "We already purchased this bike. Here's our receipt. Showed it on the phone." That would have been it. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Wait for it. So I decided to do some more research, lay down for a while, kick back, and understand the black conservator, the black guy, called them thugs and a thief. Are you serious right now? And how she's going to sue um, social media outlet She already got a lawyer. She went on national television. Here's the thing. Before you lawyered up, there could have been so many options. Now I'm going to tell you. I have to find this video because I watch so many videos, and it's also a TikTok video because the brother that was by the bike, Sarah said that she is pregnant with her child and you're hurting my fetus. I want you to guys understand this. Understand that if you, to all you women, you would not do what she had did. In the video, I actually heard from other YouTubers like there was actually more bikes that she could have purchased, but she went and put herself and her unborn baby at risk. Let's just say that she is pregnant. But then it gets worse. You're sitting there in your video, you're sitting there, oh, I'm crying. And then after that, they called you out. One of his friends calls you out and say, oh, where's the tears now? But you get away from him and then you're on your phone. Mind you this, no police was never called, but you're right next to your job. You're like a foot away from your job. You could have easily went back in and had gotten one of the security guards, but no, you didn't want to do that. So now their people have been getting sued because of the backlash she has gotten. She had gotten death threats. Her job, should most likely, she probably going to lose her job because of this video went viral. So she's being investigated. The company, City Bike, people have tried to reach out to them. They didn't want to be involved with that mess because it's things could happen. Like it could be, a miscommunication on like both parties that we're seeing on YouTube. Even though City Bike does play a role in it to a certain point, and that's where a lot of YouTubers didn't tell you this. And on a lot of these YouTubers sitting there blasting these black teenagers, they didn't watch the video very carefully and very closely, and they're never done even in their homework. Now I'm going to tell you why they didn't do their homework. This is why I like to sit down and watch and understand that when you do something and you post it online, you got to get the whole full story. These YouTubers, they just like make up a whole narrative of the whole story. They don't know what happened from the beginning. Like with this bike incident, they don't know what happened from the beginning. They only got the end. That's like going to a movie and say, hey, I'm going to tell you the end of the movie. Why would you do something like that? Do you actually know what happened from the beginning? Or are you just going to tell a story at the end of the movie and say, hey, this is what happened at the end? A lot of people do that shit and it's just annoying. But in real life, you guys didn't understand. You guys didn't do your homework. It's like the Black Conservator. He's this black YouTuber. Like I said before, he called these black teenagers a thief and a thug because they were stealing her bike. Well, here it is. It was a TikTok video. The sister actually posted a video of the receipt. She actually has the receipt, and actually where the app actually tracks the bike, where her brother and his friends rented the bike out from City Bike. I'm going to say Citibank. I'm sorry, but it's the same spelling as Citibank, and you just take the bank word out and you put bike. It's the same. Citibank has dock stations, and where, and then she actually showed a map of how far they were traveling, and it showed it on the bike app. And once I find that video, I'm gonna post it, and I want you guys to understand, like, these are not thieves, they're not thugs. They actually pay for the bike on their end, on the, like, the part of New York where they were at, and it showed on the map the distance until they got to point B. They left point A and they went to point B, and that's where point B was all misconstrued. So everything is all messed up. Lack of communication. She lured up, went on national TV. Oh yeah, she did. I saw the news. And because Black Conservative posted it. And there's some things that I really don't understand. I take that back. There are a lot of things I really do not agree with all these YouTubers. Just mostly the black YouTubers. Dr. Richie, he had to double down. Because of what he had said. I don't know the lady. I'm not going to sit there and call her racist or anything. I don't even know who this lady is. All I know is, like, her name has been popped up on YouTube. People call her the Bike Karen. I am tired of this video, but I just want to give you guys, to let you guys know, once I find this video, I am going to post it up online. It's going to be this weekend. I'm going to have to just go through all the YouTube videos that I've been watching of different videos and stuff, not just the bike incident, but just other videos, and I'm going to post that video. And I want you guys to understand, like, these guys, it's not their fault. They did not steal that bike. That bike was still in their possession. It was in his possession, and there was other bikes. You look at that, if they posted at the security camera, you can see a line of bikes that was there. Any pregnant woman would not put her unborn child at risk over a materialistic item, knowing that there's a bunch of bikes on the other side of his friend. You literally went over and put yourself in that situation. Oh, mind you, this, they didn't tell you about how she grabbed his phone. That right there, that's an assault charge. That's always considered theft. You stole and took a phone out of his hand. That's considered theft right there. Armed robbery right there. You want to bring a lawyer involved? Well, you just brought that. No cops were involved, so thank God. But then if there was cops involved, they would have showed the whole video. They would have explained to the cops, this is what happened. Then she would have been locked up. There has been death threats on Sarah Crombrey and her family. I don't condone violence. I think that was just way out of control. She eventually is going to lose her job. Until this whole thing gets cleared up, her name and her face is already on social media. Who's going to hire her? They're going to think like, oh yeah, you're the racist lady that accused these black teenagers of theft, and you use your fake alligator tears. You're not going to get a job because you have been exposed. You don't know like what you have done could have been preventative, could have been very avoidable. You could have had said, "Hey, I rented the bike at this time," and then they could have turned around and said, "Well, here we go on our phone right here. This is our app, and here we rented the bike where we were at. In fact, why don't we call the company up?" That would have resolved the whole issue. But no, because of the heated moment, no one did not do that. They were just in a heated argument about a bike that technically they rented from the other end of New York. She's coming on trying to Armstrong this black teenager by saying it's her bike, knowing that there's a bunch of other bikes from the same company that she could have had grabbed and went home. But you sat there, made yourself look like a fucking idiot. You made yourself look bad while you're still in your scrubs, while you're still wearing your badge, and you hid it and you put it in your pocket. And then you're going to go, I see why people want you fired. If you done this on camera, just imagine what you do at work. You gotta, these people, man, it's like someone told me this. True fact. When I was a teenager, me and my friend, someone that he knew that he had a problem with, ran his mouth. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll be down there, blah, blah, blah. And I got your back. So nice day outside like this, I went and told my friends about this. And one of my friends goes, oh, yeah, I know what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean? You need to sit this one out. There's things like you don't know. There are things could have been very avoidable. It could have been prevented. It. Sorry for saying words wrong, but hey, don't judge me. There are things that could have been different. So I'm sitting down and listening to this, and I'm like, oh, so they told me what had happened. And just like with Sarah B. Crombie and all these YouTube, not all, but some of these YouTubers that post this video of Sarah Crombie strong arming this black teenager's bike. These YouTubers, they only post the end of the video. They didn't see the beginning of the video on how they actually purchased the bike on the other end of New York and how they travel. The sister on a TikTok video, I will find that video. I will post that video, and I will tell you, like, I'm not going to narrate the whole story. I want you guys to see it and hear it from yourself. I'm not going to add stuff to the story. I want you to hear it and see it for yourself. And I want you guys to make the judgment. Because the brother and the sister, they also have gotten threats as well. Again, things could have been differently, could have handled differently, but because of the fact, like, she went on GoFundMe. You make so much money that you had to go on GoFundMe to raise what, $1,000 to get a lawyer. Are you serious right now? Oh, and Black Conservator, He's the one. Now, this Uncle Tom, this sellout, um, he's the one that's sitting there calling, uh, oh, the brother and the sister, oh, yeah, they're looking for um, money and all that. They're poor and all that. Um, if they're poor, why did they just rented a bike from on the other end of New York and travel with a rented bike? You got to have money to rent the bike out. So how are they poor? Do you know their circumstances? Do you know who these people are? This Uncle Tom, he is a sellout. This sellout and his Uncle Tom. Yeah, he's an Uncle Tom. I'm sure you guys know who he is. His name is Black Conservative. He's a YouTuber. He's an Uncle Tom, and he's a sellout. He admitted it on his YouTube channel. And I'm not gonna dig that up because that's not important. The important thing is like, how are you gonna sit there and say like these people are looking for money because she went on YouTube, not YouTube, sorry, she went on GoFundMe and asked for money to raise money, $1,000 to rent, to not rent, pretty much. Asked for a lawyer, and they got like what 700 or 7,000. It doesn't really matter. The point is, like, they're gonna get a lawyer. She already has a lawyer, and when both parties come together, and when the sister um shows the receipt, and then they, because in the video the lawyer had blurred out the time. Does that make any sense? But someone actually said like she rented at this time, and they showed the exact time stamp. I don't know what time people get out of work in New York. Everyone gets out of work different in the U.S. But when you're in your full scrubs uniform and when you're in your name tag around your neck and you start hiding it, they already know who you are. Somehow they found out your name. You got death threats. You went and made up a story. Now, if you would have went inside and from the beginning, you could have just said, you know what, I'm gonna go and get security. I'm sure they would have waited. I'm sure the security guard would have looked, walked by and like, and saw all these other bikes right there, and saw these guys and like, okay, if I was a security guard, right, and she came and asked me, say, hey, you know, there's some people that are trying to steal my bike. Okay, so where are they? They're outside. All right, I would go over to them, walk by all those bikes, and I would have said, excuse me, did you guys steal her bike? And I'm sure there's a lot of conversations going here and there and all that. I was like, listen, I just need one person to just talk at one at a time. I would ask the person who rented the bike out, did you rent this bike out? And he's going to say, yes. Show me the receipt. And if he goes, I don't have to show you receipt, I'm like, listen, it's just that it just diffuse the situation. I'm not taking sides. It's just better to show me the receipt. And if you show me the receipt, then it's your bike. She showed me her receipt, then it's her bike. But I'm just a mediator. I just want to see what can I do to resolve the issue. Just show me the receipt, and then you guys are good to go. There won't be no cop. I won't call the cops or anything. She just came and got me, and I'm going to defuse the situation. If they show me the receipt on their phone, Okay, are you guys still renting renting out the bike? And if they say yes, then I would tell her like, listen, they're still possession of this bike. You gonna have to call the company up and explain what had happened. Or better yet, why don't you get on the phone and explain and put them on speaker, and I can dissolve this whole situation for you. And that way, there could be a better communication. See how that works? You want to diffuse the situation before it gets out of hand, like the atomic bomb, Hiroshima, how it all exploded. There are ways of diffusing a situation before it got out of hand. All she had to do was just either go back to her job, get security, ask them for a receipt. I'm sure they'll be glad to show her the receipt. If they ask her, show your receipt first, and then we'll show our receipt. But now that I did more, and I saw the video today again. Oh my god! It looked like one of their friends was on the phone. It looked like he was getting ready to show her the receipt. It looked like he was on the phone, because if you look and the phone, the cameraman was showing her, and on the side that his friend was on the phone, and it looks like he was getting ready to show like the receipt and all that, because it would prove that they, excuse me, that they actually rented the bike out. It would prove that they rode the bike from one end of New York to all the way up to here, and they're still in possession of the bike. If she proved that she asked and rented the bike at this time, there's other bikes that she could have had rented. No one else. But you put your fetus at risk. Come on. No pregnant woman on God's sake planet will argue and fight with a bunch of teenagers over a materialistic bike, knowing that there's a bunch of other bikes that you could have rented out. You make yourself look stupid. You played yourself. You played your lawyer. Will it happen? Could this be all resolved? Yeah. It could be resolved that same day if both parties just show the receipt. As for Dr. Ritchie, I'm sorry, but you should have never, you should have, I have mad respect for you, but I don't agree with the things that you have to say on your YouTube. Just like with Officer Tatum, there are some things I agree with him on, and there are some things I don't agree with him on. Black conservative, no. I just watch him because I just want to see what he has to say. Because all the stuff that he's been saying about, oh, they're thugs and this running his mouth and all that, you don't know what happened. You did not do your homework. Until you do your homework and understand, like, he's like, oh yeah, they're just making it worse for them. They're just guilty and all that. No, they're not guilty. He has jumped the gun. I remember someone told me this a long time ago, that instead of like jumping the gun, sit back, look at everything in front of you, and study it. I don't know how to put it, but I'm just going to narrate it of like saying, like, it's better to understand the situation, because when you put all the pieces together, you're going to have at least 50 other pieces that's not all together. You're going to have 50 to 80 to 90 other pieces that the story does not make sense. That's what he does. He makes up all these stories with the bike incident and calling them thieves and all their thugs and stuff. Oh, they just want money. They're looking for a handout. Um, no, they're not. They did not mention a handout. I did not hear anything about money. People actually have called them thugs, thanks to you, black conservative. Um, you don't know what you're talking about. You are a sellout. You are an Uncle Tom. This is why the black community don't like you. You even said it in your video. Like, oh, black people don't like me. I wonder why now. Now it makes perfectly well sense that a lot of black people don't like you. We can only tolerate you, but we don't like you. You're sitting there calling these teenagers thugs and thief. You're sitting there saying, oh, their sister's gonna just making it worse for them. Well, obvious you didn't watch the same video that I seen. How actually she does have the receipt, and I seen it on her TikTok video. So I have to go back into all my videos that I've been watching different other videos, so I can post the video and show the whole um, true story. I'm not gonna say anything. I want you guys to listen to her. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna post the video, and I'm not gonna say anything because it's her word. It's not my word. It's her word. I'm not gonna post a video, and I'm gonna not um, talk through it and narrate the whole story. That's not me. I'm gonna let her do the talking because in the end, it could have been this whole bike issue would have been resolved if both parties would show the receipts. But at that time, it was just they were like, oh, some white lady trying to in scrubs trying to take his bike. I understand that. I would too get in defensive mode and say, hey, why are you trying to steal this bike from me? I'm still using this bike. This bike is still in my name. No cops were involved. But you're trying to manhandle a materialistic item, knowing that there's some, like, on the other side, you could have just tucked in and rode home. There's like so many scenarios and so many options. There's just like this big, huge window that just closed really quick. Everything could have been avoidable. Things have turned to the worst. Now people have to deal with like this whole bike incident. This is worse than the Central Park Karen. This has gone way out of hand. Oh, and also Central Park Karen also lost her job as well. So this might take a turn on her as well. Sarah probably could be losing her job. Now she's on social media. Who's gonna hire her? They're gonna think like, what's your name? When she goes for another job or transfer to another place, they might not even take her because hospitals, um, they could transfer to another hospital. They could do that, but if it's the same facility, well, what can you do? All I gotta say is like, both parties, I can't say they were at fault, but I understand like someone coming up to me and trying to take my ride. Oh no, either A, the argument is going to keep getting worse, or it could get out of hand. Heated moments. If you're with your friends and one of your friends is getting ready to go on his phone and start showing, getting ready to show you, this is what we already rented this bike. No one didn't question his friend. No one didn't question the white guy because the white guy showed up and trying to probably didn't know what was going on. And she's sitting there yelling, "Help! Help!" Other people in the video in the background, white people were walking by. You saw them behind the teenagers, there were white people walking by. I'm sure there's other white people who are walking by as well or driving by. You're sitting and yelling, "Help!" Over a materialistic bike? Are you serious? The bike that does not belong to you? And you're like, oh, I rented a bike out. That's great that you have the receipt. Why didn't you pull it out then and there? Why didn't both parties pull out their receipt on their phone? If they're still in possession of that bike, you have no right of taking their bike. And you scan the QR code on your phone. So they pushed it back in. Because you stolen their bike. You literally stole their bike. I'm sorry, it's just so warm in my room. Because the sun cooks my room. So, you actually strong arm and trying to steal this teenager's bike, knowing that even though he's sitting on it, it's not theft. He could sit on that bike because he's still in possession of it because it's still in his name. You guys didn't know that, huh? When that's like me, and I'm like, there has a bike downtown, and I'm like just renting it out, and I'm sitting on it, and some white person come up to me and like, hey, I know I rented this bike out. I'm gonna be like, well, I actually have the receipt. I'm gonna show you on my email. I will show that person the receipt and how long I can have it for. And if there's other bikes, and he doesn't show me his receipt, I'm not getting off my bike. Show me the receipt. I showed you mine. Why don't you show me yours? And if I know, like, if he pulls out his phone and showed me the receipt, I was like, there's other bikes right there. You can rent them. I ain't the one. I'll be nice to you. I'll show you my receipt, but I ain't the one. That person gonna be like, okay, I'll just go rent another bike. Yeah, that'd be a very smart idea. And then he can call the company out. It's like, call the company out, put them on speaker. No, you started this. Now we're gonna end it. Give them a call. I'll make them sit there and I'll make them call. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna resolve this issue. And they can say, well, there's another bike. He could just rent. He or she could have just. How many bikes are there? That's a lot. Oh, he could have rented out. And if there's a lot of bikes, he or she could have rented out the bike that's right next to you. Did you hear that? Oh, I am sorry. I apologize. Have a good day. My mistake. Yeah. Well, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, man. Just get out of my face. It's just, oh, it's all they had to do. So, I said I just wanted to just, that been bothering me because of the black conservative, this YouTuber, sitting there calling these black teenagers thugs and thieves. They didn't even steal the bike. This motherfucker's a fucking sellout. He's an Uncle Tom. And, oh, they're thugs and they're thief and all that. They stole this white pregnant woman's bike. No, they didn't. They didn't even steal the bike. You dumb fucking sellout. You piece of shit. You fucking Uncle Tom. They didn't even steal the bike, you Uncle Tom. Once I find that video, I will post it. I'm gonna have to go through all my videos and all these other different videos, and I'm gonna post it. And I'm gonna let her, like I said, I'm gonna let her explain the real, true story. It's not coming out of my mouth. It's coming out of hers, and everything you'll see. Again, I know we all watched that video. I know it gets frustrating after a while, but when these YouTubers start making up a narrative, a story that's not even true, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They're only showing like the end of the video. Well, why don't they just do their homework and then go back to the beginning? Just like her lawyer. Her lawyer should have been like, why did you call? A really smart lawyer would have said, you know what? Instead of trying to make money and trying to get her job back, what he should have done if he was a fucking smart lawyer, he could have said, why didn't you call the company? Why didn't you ask for the receipt? Why did you show them the receipt? They would have been gladly to show you their receipt. A smart, educated lawyer would have asked her all these different types of questions. Why didn't you go back inside the security guard and back into your job? And if I see the video online, I would have asked her all kinds of questions. If I was her lawyer, I'd have been like, you're not that far from your job. How come you didn't go back inside and ask for security? Because let's say like, if they take it to court, the whole video surface from the beginning to the end, from point A to point B. Do you know how stupid she's gonna look in court? Not only you made yourself look stupid, but you made the fucking lawyer look fucking dumb. Dumbass fuck. Oh, we're gonna sue all these outlets. Good luck with that. I'm just saying, because any lawyer would have said, you know what? I'm going to reach out. I'm going to call them. And if this is what they're saying, then you don't have a case. Sorry. That's just how life is. No. And if they do take it to court, and if their family get a good lawyer, their attorney is going to say, well, in the video, she took the phone out of his hand. Well, his friend right here, or he's getting ready to show her proof, but you're going to take the phone out. There's another thing that her lawyer didn't catch in the video. You're so quick to make money. And I guarantee you're probably one of those like low-end lawyers. I'm sure you're not one of those top lawyers. Trust me. If you trying to make a name for yourself by going on the news and all that, you're a bottom lawyer. You're not making the situation good for you. You're making it actually really worse for you. Because then in the video, he looked like he was getting ready to show her the receipt on his phone, but she took it out of his hand. And while his other friend probably were going to do the same thing, getting ready to show her the receipt or probably record the whole thing. But he already saw his friend recording it. So he's probably getting ready to say, hey, this is the receipt that we have. He did not steal the bike. But no one did their homework. and Dr. Philip Scott. I dearly have mad respect for you. Excuse me. I dearly have so much love for you, my brother. But it's not about the tears. It's not about race all the time. It's about getting the right information. It's about what could have been done differently. It's not about her tears, man. Come on. I've seen it so many times, and I'm so sick of hearing about it. It was just about a receipt. If you guys who followed that video very carefully, it looked like he was getting ready to show her his receipt, that he still have the receipt on his phone. Hold that thought. He was gonna get ready to show her the receipt on his phone, but she ended up grabbing it. You are guilty of theft, armed robbery, armed robbery and theft. You took a phone that doesn't belong to you. He was going to show you on his phone the receipt that he still has possession of the bike, but you took his phone. Yes, I like Samsung better than Apple, because you have to go through Apple to get their stuff. Samsung, they have universal stuff. Apple, unfortunately, you guys don't have universal, so I like Samsung. Yo, Samsung. Instead of like taking the phone and having that's considered theft. You're reaching and you're invaded his bubble, and you grabbing his phone. That is considered theft, because you're in the wrong. He was trying to avoid what you call it? That's what I'm looking for. He was trying to diffuse the situation, de-escalate the situation. That's the word. I know it's the same, but it's the same. De-escalate, diffuse, same word. Different word, same definition. The whole thing was like he was just going to de-escalate the situation by showing you the receipt on the phone. That was it. But you took it to a whole new notch. You went to go get a lawyer, you dumb bitch. I hope you do lose your job. I hope you lose your job. I hope that in the future, when you get a job, when people look at the video, what you have done to those black teenagers, I hope that they watch that video very carefully and tell you, like, I don't think you'll be able to be one of our candidates to work here. We don't tolerate that. We have zero tolerance. But we'll see. Leave a like and a comment down below. This is your boy Wolfgang. I'll see you in the next video. Once I find that video, I'm going to post it and enjoy your nice day wherever state you in, and enjoy the nice weather, and be safe out there, and always have your receipts on you. Don't be like this. Do not be Karen, Sarah Karen Cornbreak. That working at a hospital. That was working at a hospital. Just make sure you have your receipt and your friends with you, because everything could have been avoidable. Peace.